What's up, guys? We're over here at Blake's shop, and he's gonna take us through the Baja Bug that he's been driving that has been pissing everybody off. Surprise, surprise. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's getting people pretty excited. Blake had a really good win in Nevada.
Caliente 250.
Caliente 250.
Snore series.
And how was that, man?
So much fun.
Want to tell us really quickly why everybody thought you had like an LS1 in it or something? Or?
No. I made some changes to the exhaust, and after coming off a second place at the Mint, we went to Caliente with a little bit of a different setup. Now, after having a bunch of seat time, we made some changes to the car to make it faster. Obviously, we adapt every time we take our vehicles out and make those adjustments. And we started out dead last because I had some hurdles to overcome before I was going to register, make sure testing went good and everything a couple days prior to the race.
That was a dead last start?
Yeah.
Dang.
Out of 11 cars.
11 cars, man. That's a lot, brother.
Started last and charged hard, started checking them off, and I thought there was one person in front of us. It wasn't super windy, so we had a little dust. We had to fight through the dust. So then second lap, we thought we had one more person in front of us. So we rallied super hard, finished 22 minutes ahead.
No way!
We just drove hard to the finish, crossed the finish line. They P&G tested the motor.
What does that mean, P&G test the motor?
So they want to check our compression. So since we're running a dual barrel carburetor, EMPI HPMX4, we have to run a low comp motor set up with a dual Weber, or with a dual carburetor.
Okay.
Dual barrel carburetor.
What?
If you have a high comp motor, then you can only run a single barrel carburetor.
So they were just making sure that you guys weren't like, had any tricks up your sleeve to go that fast.
Playing fair.
Shoot, if I was a race official in the end and I came up and I was like, dude, what the heck? The first car comes in 20 minutes ahead, I'd be like, let's check this thing out. I mean, it makes sense, you know, but we've all kind of driven things like this growing up and, you know, driven things in phases, right? Yeah. So you learn the vehicle and before you know it, you're just driving it like a dirt bike.
I literally was banging gears like to the point where valves were starting to float, shifting, trying to catch this dude who I thought was in front of me. And
the invisible guy.
How do you like that, eh?
literally the car took such a beating. There's a couple times where we were literally like bumper, bumper, bumper.
Oh,
bumper,
shoot, man.
Oh my God, we're gonna
So you were part of this experience, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
I co-drove for him for the whole race, and we had to fight the adventure.
200 miles, what was it?
160 something?
160.
130-ish. Yeah, about that. Still, we were in the car for like 4 hours or something.
Right on.
Something like that. I forgot the exact times, but
Enough to have to pee really, really bad.
Oh my God.
You wanted me to pull over? I'm like, you're gonna have to piss yourself too. So
I was like, Blake, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, dude. I might have to piss in the seat.
I told him, go for it. I ain't pulling shit up.
Yeah.
I'll hose the thing out afterwards, but we ended up having a speed zone at 25, and you know,
I was like, here's my chance, dude.
Yeah.
Open the doors.
Yeah. Oh.
Hell no. To the no, no, no.
In Baja races, a lot of dudes wear like
Catheter.
like the condom catheter.
Yeah.
With 11 people in that class, they could have been right on their ass. So he was ready to piss in the seat, man.
it's not too far of a distance, but again, you gotta take into consideration the speed, the travel,
The bumps, dude.
stock bug, the bumps, the chatter. I mean, with the smallest tire in the class.
Second gear for the most part.
What size tires run on this thing?
I'm running a Gladiator ATR tire that I have shaved just to take off the weight and also reduce the height on them. Bigger tire fills the hole more.
Okay.
Shave them down to take off a lot of the tread height. That way you get more wheel spin. You don't have as much bite if you do land on the gas if the back end comes off the ground. Because fourth gear you don't really touch, but you can pull second harder.
Okay.
And then third can get a little bit more top speed. If it's like a short course style track, you know, a smaller tire would be much better, but stuff that has a lot of chatter, the bigger tire is, I feel like, the ideal choice.
Is that like a 31 or is it like a 29? 30 inch.
UTV tire.
UTV. Okay.
Kind of customize and make it
Right on.
Make it something that is compatible, you know.
And just that inch or 2 inch advantage on some of your competitors, kind of like you said, gives you that little extra edge, that little push to maybe do a little better through the bigger bumps.
A little more ground clearance too, so you're not scraping such stuff
right.
as much, you know. So I mean, I feel like they did great.
guys, so kind of take us through this thing. Everybody was stoked that you guys were building something like this. Just to see you back in like an OG like Volkswagen, especially this class. I know that this class has gained some popularity this year, and you guys built this in a couple months, right?
Probably like 5.5 weeks.
That's insane.
It was crushed from the moment it came in. We separated the pan from the shell and just put hands on everything and replaced
Insane.
everything. So we'll start front and we'll kind of work our way back. Stock Volkswagen steering box. You got your adjustment here for when you do get some slop in there. Everything's tie wired and whatnot. You got your adjustment here. You got shit tie wired because stuff does come apart and there's a lot of movement in that. A lot of this build was built with MP parts, man. I mean, MP has literally a Bible of parts for Volkswagens.
And what's MP?
MP Performance
Yeah.
is the largest aftermarket replacement parts, performance parts, replacement stock OEM parts. Let me show you. Never seen one of their catalogs? MP has everything
Right
in
off
it.
the shelf, ready to go. So you guys went through all that. You guys ordered all that stuff from them and just started bolting up.
Within a week, I had pretty much so many parts to move forward. I went to IMS, got material. After I separated the pan and the shell, I took the beam off. We cut and turned the beam. We went 5/8 rotation on that. It's not really a secret. So anything over 3/4 is a little too much. So 5/8 was our happy medium with what we set the cut and turn on the beam. There's a lot of other little tips and tricks. I mean, I can go through
To get ahead on the
so
class.
much
We got to keep
on
some of
this
that stuff a secret, man. I mean, if you guys are
I
doing
don't
so
mind
good.
sharing, you
Oh,
know,
what a
but
nice guy.
in between the pitman arm and the steering box, you want to put shims in between there to take up any sort of slack. The front tie rods, you want to take the stock sway bar and cut those and throw those inside of those and rosette those in there to make them solid. You drill through here, put a solid rod, put some flat stock, and as you can see, when it's drooped out, you metal to metal contact here, and then when it's bumped out, metal to metal contact on the top side.
Are you guys not allowed to put any other type of bump on this?
Nope.
That's it.
These are stock uppers and lowers, stock spindles, stock brakes, stock tie rods, stock everything.
That's insane, man. And then, so you just have the King.
These are
smoothie?
It's a smoothie shock. We played with different valving. It's got like a couple rubber bumps up in here to kind of ease up some of the chattery stuff and or just take some slop out of it. So
Right on.
it's not hard mounted because you are running a stock shock tower still in the front, stock Bug class, but it has a reservoir with adjusters on them. These are like one of the first shocks with like the resis and the adjusters and the full kill. So
That's awesome.
I told Brett what I was doing and he loved it. Brett's got a Bug too. He knows about all of our Bug videos and he digs them. So whenever something special happens, I send them, you know.
So for those of you that don't know, Brett is the owner of King Shocks. He is, you know, a huge reason for massive progression in the sport. They take the time to reach out to people and answer all types of questions. They have like amazing customer service, and not only that, phenomenal shocks. That's the reason why most people run them. You know what I mean?
And win races.
And win races, yeah. No hate on Fox or
Good shocks,
Bill Stein, anybody else, you know, Sway Away. You know, it's all good product, but I think the relationship with King and like the pre-runner off-road community, especially in like out here in California, it's tight, man. You know, those guys pick up the phone.
This is kind of cool. So I got like a little quick pin right here, boom. And then this is just a simple lightweight jack that I can put on my impact and just loosen it out here, and then the thing just pops right out.
Nice.
So then I got a footprint and I just can set that under the beam or under the back torsion, and the thing just sits right here and casually rides with me.
Have you had to use that thing yet?
I did at the Mint. I got one flat and I deserved it.
Really? Why
You
is
have-
that?
You have to run stock wheels in this class. They weren't meant to be bashed through rocks as hard as we drive them through what we do. If you do side load or make contact with the rock, they will tuna can open. They will bend, and I think I have one back there, or I might have thrown it away, where after
They just fold, huh?
yeah, after you get one dent and the thing goes flat, you drive it 2 seconds and there's
Boom.
dents all over it. It looks like a starfish. So.
That's crazy, man. I didn't know that the class was that strict. And the last race, you did pretty good?
Yeah, the
No
last
flats?
race, no flats, no issues. The only thing I had to do
Hell yeah.
come into pit for 3 gallons of gas after the first lap. out the wiring. My boy Cowboy came through hard. Everything is all Deutsch connectors. Everything's from ProWire USA. We had to wire this thing in such a short amount of time also. But he took the time to label every single wire
That's awesome.
that we did in the harness for this thing. So shout out to my boy Cowboy for coming through and the time crunch that we did to
Right on, man.
supply the wiring for this.
And you know what? That rush, it's all holding up, man.
Oh yeah,
It's all holding up,
and
dude.
It's clean, man. I mean, there's a lot of extra stuff from like some of the cables for the rugged stuff in there that kind of add to it. But before I put the rugged stuff in there, it's just
Right on.
I haven't had any issues, so that's awesome. So like that's the amber in the front. Those are
That's sexy.
driving lights, but those are kind of like the
Dude, that looks good, man.
They're backlit rigids, and they're super bright. They put off those are the driving lights, so they put off a really good array of light. At the Mint, we drove half the race in the dark, so
Oh, that's right, man.
this amber especially let like my crew and them know when I was coming. They were like,
That has to be you, because it's
Yeah.
freaking lighting up like the sun.
I ran these as they're supposed to be your blinkers, but I ran them just as running lights to also help identify
Your
the
car.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, that's important at night. You come into the pits.
Then these-
You want to make sure you guys are ready.
These are the side shooters. So
Okay.
they have lights on the outsides. They shoot like a heavy angle out to the.
So right here on the side?
Yep. So they got 3 more bulbs. So they shine dang near 90 degrees off of the light. Some people usually have them up here and whatnot to where they can see down, but that's what this light does, and it puts it right at eye level. So
Okay.
like shadows and stuff of that nature, you can it does
Quickly determine like what's coming up. It's way easier.
won't be misleading.
Seems definitely like a must. Yeah, let's see it, man. Oh, that looks so good.
You can stand right here and get dang near blinded by it, but you really start to get a bunch here. So
I mean, look at it from in here. That's what we're looking at. Looks great, man.
that's a single dome light right there. This is a stock shifter with just an MP shift knob. I built a custom handbrake for the rear, so that's
Here,
my
I'll
little,
hop around the other
that's
side.
my little hoon handle.
Are they not picky about stuff like that? They're able to, let you do that?
It's pretty much the stock cables and everything still.
Oh, okay.
So I just built a little hoon handle where I can grab it with my
Right
fingers
on.
and give it a yank. Up here it's too tight. I didn't want to get stuck in between the seats.
Have you used that thing during a race?
In the dirt, if there's like a hard pack corner and you gotta rotate it and it shows it on the GPS with the
Right.
Bob Armor app. Sometimes you got a lot going on where you're shifting in between first and second. And,
Right.
And the brakes do work pretty good. I
Kind of just use the power and the brakes to just do what you got to do.
Yeah, you can lock this thing up and slide it with just the pedal too.
Right.
So, but it depends on the momentum you're trying to carry. That's the big thing about these is the momentum. For sure, when you have a 1600cc motor, momentum is everything. So
You got to keep it going. Yeah, for sure.
Two-stroke style.
I'm not going to lie, man. I do like this detail. Spicoli.
Hey, bud, let's party.
It almost feels like skateboard.
It was a stomp pad that I cut out that my boy Matt Darby, whose truck's over there, gave me. So
That is so cool, man.
I put it on there, carved it out, and had grip on the front of it with like little pads, but it came off. From
I'm
just
sure.
pushing the skinny pedal so dang hard.
It's pretty roomy in here, guys.
So
You know, and these seats look like amazing.
these are the 2-inch shoulders with a 3-inch laps. They're the 6 by 3x2s. They're just super comfy. That way, when you got like a Hans device, it fits in the slot real easy.
Okay.
Or next gen or whatnot.
So what's a
it's-
Hans device? You want to tell the kids out there what that is?
Basically, what you'll see around racers' necks, there's a couple different ones. There's ones that have chest straps, or there's ones that just are shoulder mounted.
Okay.
And your belts go over those to where if you do have a super gnarly impact and the weight of your helmet wants to fly forward, the weight of your helmet and your head can potentially stretch your neck out. So
Yikes.
a neck restraint will basically restrain your neck from stretching out. So
So these
harnesses-
seats can accommodate that type of like safety.
Yeah, these
Hans
harness
device. Right.
specifically, but the seats are just your standard comp elites from PRP that you're able to fully customize. I put the gray ostrich on them.
Yeah, that looks sick. That texture. These must be some sort of suspension too, in a way, because
Yes.
you need every single bit of suspension in this class
Yeah.
because you're limited, right? So
Yeah.
I know I didn't get to ask you, what's the front suspension on this thing? What kind of numbers and travel are you getting in
5
there?
3/4.
5 3/4. You guys hear that? So when you guys are watching the clips of this guy, know that he has 5 inches and 3/4 to get through those bumps.
In the front.
In the front. Quick
This is
release.
cool. Yeah, it's energy quick release, so it always finds its home. So once you find your home, the thing just locks in.
Oh, nice.
That's a little cut.
So it doesn't matter where you do it, you throw it in there?
Yeah, dude, you can be upside down, and then all you gotta do is rotate it, and
Locks
it locks
in.
in. It's only one size fits all, but
Dude, I didn't know that.
you don't
That's
have
rad.
To, you don't have to mess with splines or none of that. And I've tested it in my big car in the sand dunes forever, and that thing's been butter. We got rugged radios. Those things obviously are mandatory.
Okay.
Some of the other race cars don't run as many gauges, but I figured, you know what, why not have a gauge on everything? Some people are like, oh, the weight, but don't eat a cheeseburger before the race, man.
Right.
You know. Stock horn. Oh, wait.
Yes.
Adjustable for the same
Hell yeah.
pumper that a lot of the other guys on the Terra Crew Squad are running, the carbon fiber fresh air system from Rugged.
People are running that thing because, you know, they're in the dust, they can't breathe. They're using the oxygen from there to breathe fresh air instead of just mounds of silt and dirt and having black lungs.
And then when you got a helmet skirt on too, you're not getting fresh air. You might fog up your lens, or you're going to fog up your lens. So that just keeps your lens clear, keeps you breathing fresh, clean air.
Hell yeah.
And yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Take us to the rear of this thing, man. What are we looking at over here?
We got a Pyrotech fuel cell. I believe that one's a 12-gallon fuel cell. It's got a really far range. We got the big King shock reservoir, since you're only allowed to run a 2-inch body. These are custom Kings too. You're only allowed to run 18 inches eye to eye. You'll see that from pivot to pivot, or eye to eye, you're only allowed to run 18 inches. So
Okay, so that's eye to eye right there, guys.
boom to boom.
Maybe some guys might start running these in the class, huh? I'm
they
sure.
Do. A lot of guys do. And
Yeah.
what they've also done is they've taken bump cans, since it's a 2-inch bump can, and they've clamped a bump can on the size of like Foxes or Bilsteins or whatnot.
Right, right.
And then they just, off the side of the bump can, weld their own tab to use that as eye to eye for where the shock bolts are.
Ah, interesting.
But if you were to have this eye to eye, you wouldn't have enough body and stroke of the shaft to get the amount of travel that you do. My bump stop on this is my wheel well with the tire.
Holy crap.
The tire rubs up in here pretty good. When it bottoms out, it rubs right there.
And that's your bump stop.
And that's my bump stop. Either
Holy
that
crap.
or the skid plate. We're running the stock transmission, stock gearing.
Dang.
Can't do none of that. These are stock arms that you just do the box kit and then custom fab, you know, my own shock mounts. I put it directly in line with the center of the hub.
Are you allowed to
Weighs
like add
1
plating
point.
and stuff like that?
To the arms, yes, certain
Okay.
amounts. But in other areas, such as like the torsion and whatnot, there are gray areas to some of that stuff. If it doesn't say it, that means you can't do it.
Right on.
They're pretty thorough, and they will crack down on you. So
Right.
I had the help from 11 Brothers Motorsports, Tim and Richard and Dennis Sletton. They're 3 generations of VW enthusiasts, and they helped me with a lot of tips and tricks and to-dos and to-don'ts that people can get in trouble for. And since we had a lot of eyes on us, we did not want to get in trouble.
What type of travel numbers back here?
In the back, I want to say it's about 8 inches. I never fully cycled it with a tire on there because once I started doing torsions and stuff, I started running out of time.
Okay.
I just basically cycled it without the torsions with the shock on there, and I was still shaving the tires in the process of finishing it. So it all kind of
roughly
just came together, and it's I would want to say 8 inches because I've seen where my stroke is, and I want to say it's about 8 inches from where it's all.
Right on. And so you're keeping this thing as light as possible to utilize all that suspension. I mean, not the limited suspension, actually.
Yeah.
How's motor restrictions go, or how's the
1600 cc's.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as that goes, like, are you allowed any other types of mods to the motor, or?
You have to have, like, there's certain weights. You're allowed to play with.
So just
cams.
a bone stock.
Yeah, you have to like stay within like certain weights of like the piston and this and that, but you have to have, you know, the factory style doghouse and fans and whatnot. We're running a very standard distributor.
Okay.
Like, it's super cost effective.
How much horsepower are these things, man?
This thing makes, I think it's like 83 horsepower.
Oh,
82
dang.
horsepower. Yeah, so
Nice.
it ain't much, but we also got like some I don't know, some Gucci lights in the back.
So if you don't got no sauce, then you're lost.
Some rigids that can be task lights or just look super cool when the hood's down and they illuminate everything. But
No, that looks rad. It looks
Yeah.
good. I mean, I'm sure you coming down here, and then, I mean, we can't forget the shark fin.
Oh yeah.
What's the name of this thing, dude?
Slug Shark, dude.
Slug Shark.
Yeah, we got this custom teal buggy whip that we just kind of did with WrestleMania.
Russ from Buggy Whips is the coolest, nicest guy, man. Shout out to Buggy Whips, the homie. Well, the car looks amazing, dude. It has such a good look to it, and you beat the crap out of it, so it's definitely your car.
Want to hear it?
Let's hear it. Starts right up. So you built this thing?
Stainless setup from the collector. I put a collector on it. Right after the collector, I just fabbed up a bracket off of the right CNC table, and
Hell yeah.
then bought some stainless U-bends and built the stainless up to it. But it's
And here it is.
yeah, it's got billet caps and then a 4-barrel.
Dude, that's
I
rad.
like to call it. So it's
That's some work,
yeah,
dude.
it's
That's
the
some work in there,
Gatling.
man.
It's the Gatling, man. This was something designed for trophy carts with a little less horsepower. And my boy Cameron at Fort Hill, he's made horsepower with these. So he said, under 100 horsepower, this is your cam, and this
Hell
is the
yeah.
way you do it. So.
It's very unique, man. I've yet to see an exhaust like this.
Oh yeah.
See an exhaust like this, period.
Trying something new, man.
Hell yeah,
Trying new
man.
things.
Well, thank you guys so much again for checking out this episode. Please check out Blake and all the stuff he has coming up. Thank you for supporting us. Subscribe to the channel. Check out what we got going on. We got so much stuff coming out in the future. We appreciate you guys. And man, this was awesome. Thanks, guys. Later.
Wrap.